Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second best club in Fremantle. Well, they got it away to a good start.
Well, that's a good start, yes. It's they win. Listen, they have a lucky win over East Perth and they think they're premiers. I've never seen them up here.
No, knocked them. I had a wonderful night here last night, 1 o'clock this morning, a beautiful night.
Did you?
Best club in Western Australia.
Well, one of the main talking points today, obviously, is going to be the state game. The other big talking point down here at East Fremantle is they're turning the clock back to 1965. And among the special guests today, Bob Johnson, who was captain coach of that year, and also Tony Casserly. Were you playing then?
No, I was winning Geelong the Premiership at the time. But our special guests on today's show, Toddy, Mel Brown, Brad Hardy, Ross Glendinning, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, he's coming over to coach South Fremantle next year, they tell me. Your brains into the club. Peter Bowler, Ian Simmons, Bob Johnson and Tony Casserly, and of course your own little Jimmy Chadwick.
How did he get a Guernsey?
One good thing about Jimmy, he's the last person to know when it rains.
Righto, there are going to be lots to talk about, as we said. Also, we'll be talking about the state game with John Todd. Hopefully we'll find out who the players are and the Victorian, or the players based in Victoria who are going to be playing. And we'll be talking about all the action from the 4 games here yesterday. Back at East Fremantle in just one moment. Welcome back to the home of the Sharks. So let's have a look first of all at the results of the 4 games played yesterday in some detail, and then we'll get into them game by game. This is the pause that refreshes. There they are. South Fremantle 23-26 to Claremont 12-8. Swan Districts 22-18 to East Perth 18-10. West Perth 17-19. Perth 10-13. And East Fremantle 22-11. Subiaco 16-13. All of which means, until next week, East Fremantle are on top of the ladder. South Fremantle, West Perth, Swan Districts, Claremont, Perth, East Perth rather, Subiaco and Perth. Well, in freezing cold temperatures all 4 games yesterday, at Fremantle Oval, the Bulldogs far too good for a very disappointing Claremont, and it was a day for full forwards. One of them was Stephen Mount.
Cleverly knocked on by Vagona into the path of Winmar. He's left it behind, but has possession again. Left foot kick from Nicky Winmar is absolutely champagne football. Underneath that was Kickett, but brilliantly done by Winmar. Socket off the ground by Winmar into the path of Hart. Hart back to Winmar. He's inside 50 metres. He's going to get another. Oh, what an exhibition of hard-forward flank play this is. We're 33 minutes into this quarter as Gillies from 55 metres out puts it right onto the edge of the square. Mount! You can't beat him.
Pretty impressive performance, Buck.
Yes, and I was looking at the ladder a moment ago, Peter, when you were showing the relative positions. And East Fremantle, to say the best, looks shaky on top. After what I saw at Fremantle Oval yesterday. Watch out, East Fremantle. Winmar's in top form, Mount's in top form, and South Fremantle are poised, ready to strike.
You're pretty popular wherever you go.
It's unbelievable.
I love you. West Perth and Perth in a very important game for the Falcons at Leederville yesterday, and again it was really Robert Wiley versus the rest, David.
That's right, Peter, and West Perth played brilliant football in the second half yesterday. If they can play 4 quarters of football like they did in the second half, there's no doubt they'll be in the finals, and when they get there, watch out.
At Bassendean Oval, a big game for both Swan Districts and East Perth. A lot hung on that game, and 2 fellas who tried to keep warm all through the game. Swans, Chris Burgess, and the big man from East Perth, John Ironmonger.
John's got underneath all his legs there, but who'd take on Ironmonger? Somebody did.
Yes, someone's taken on. They're both on the ground. Oh, it looks like Chris Burgess.
Burgess has put Ironmonger down. What's going to happen out of this lot, Bob? Any reports? like Paul sorting it all out there. He looks like he's given John Ironmonger a stern.
At that stage, Stan, it was about 1-fall each. Did they have a decider?
No, I don't think they did, really. That was the only spiteful incident, if you could call it a spiteful incident in the game yesterday. But a solid four-quarter performance from Swans. They bounced back into form yesterday. East Perth, gallant in defeat, I suppose you could say. They had players who tried, but really just didn't have the class to match Swans.
Well, as we said, it was a pretty good day for full forwards, and let's have a look at one of them in action.
Goes out to Leeson. Leeson to Green. Green's kick up towards the forward line. Big runs in front, and Alexander takes them over.
What a lovely kick of Green's, and well led by the big fella.
Now Renstead threads a beautiful hand pass through to where Turco takes the ball. His kick again. Alexander has got away on his own. Very close to the line he was, of course. Scott and Alexander. Alexander. Oh, gee, well, that's old dog for a hard road, as they say.
Yeah, puppies on the footpath. 10 years of experience there.
Marty, I reckon it was unfair that he'd leave Bennett on the interchange bench just because Bob Johnson was in town and he wanted to prove another playing coach could kick goals.
A very selfish attitude by the captain and coach of East Fremantle. He knew the kid's an up-and-comer, kept him off the ground, but my word, did the big fella do it well. And John Rogers made a stupid comment a moment ago, saying that the strike force of South Fremantle, wait till they meet them East Fremantle here next week. East Fremantle, a real side, not the fairies they played against yesterday. Yeah, next week, South will be against a heap of men, not a bunch of fairies like Claremont.
I should have remembered why Marty McDonald is speaking the way he is. Of course, the hotel is only just up the street. It's unbelievable, you know. Everywhere we've been so far, Marty has said this club, where are we, is the greatest club in Western Australia. And he said that at Claremont, he said that at Perth, here, and where else have we been?
Bassendean.
At Bassendean.
You tell a lot of lies. You're a jealous people. You're anti the Fremantle sides. They're the two sides going to play off for the grand final. I've said my bit.
Righto, that's enough. Let's take a break. When we come back, all the action from Fremantle Oval yesterday. Welcome back to East Fremantle Oval, and to talk now about the game between South Fremantle and Claremont yesterday. John Rogers, and with him Malcolm Brown and John Watts. Well, what about Claremont, considering they had to win? Lamentable.
Dreadful. I don't want to dwell on Claremont at all, because I think their coach summed it up fairly well when he said that they were pathetic, and I reckon that's being kind of them. But you know, it's not often that you can say a side is a complete team, but yesterday I reckon South Fremantle were. Their back line was superb, their ruck was more than efficient, and their forward line, well, two players kicked 14 goals between them. I don't think I've ever seen South Fremantle play a better brand of running football. You know, it was said earlier on in the week that some of the scribes thought that it may have been Claremont's run that was going to upset and beat South Fremantle. But of course that wasn't the case. South Fremantle absolutely ran the pants off Claremont. And in addition, whenever the Claremont players got the ball, and I'm sure it was an instruction from Brownie, that the South Fremantle players put Claremont under such enormous pressure that in the end, some of the Claremont players weren't prepared to go and get the ball, because they knew that as soon as they did, there wouldn't be anyone to back them up, and Souths would hit them, Malcolm, with everything you had, virtually.
Yes, I suppose, you know, I wish it was next week rather than last week, but I'd say that is it is the best performance since I've coached South against Claremont. I don't think we've ever played and won by so much. In the first round we were miles ahead and they kicked 10 goals in the last quarter and came back. We relaxed. We did relax a bit, kicking a couple of 2-6 in the last quarter. But yeah, it was very good. It was very good because with Barrett out, we were very worried in the morning, and young Little, I thought, was an enormous player in the first half, and it was a good team effort, but we have to sustain that if we want to be anywhere near the finals.
Well, that's been one of the vagaries of the season, that sides are up one week and down the next. But you know, you look at some of the statistics, a guy like Stephen Mount playing at full forward, and bear in mind that he was taken off the ground in the first quarter to give Rawlinson a run, because I don't think he wanted Doritich's leg cool down, because he made light of a very, very bad cork. But Stephen Mount had something of the order of 33 touches yesterday, including 16 marks, 10 of which he took in the third quarter, and he ended up kicking 7 goals. Not a bad performance for a bloke that spent a bit of time off the ground, is it?
No, he spent a quarter off. He came off about the 10-minute mark, I think, of the second quarter to give Rawlinson took over the ruck, and Dorrington went in the forward line. But, you know, it was an outstanding performance by himself, but I'm sure that we're just hoping he does it next week and the week after, because the week before against Subiaco, he was pathetic himself. So, you know, he's got to get consistency, and if he does that, well, we'll be a better side.
Hey, Brownie, Stephen Michael, will he make the state side?
No, Stephen couldn't train this morning.
Yeah,
Brownies, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a bruised leg.
How can you tell?
Yeah.
You could go on praising South Fremantle in the way they went. You know, Winmar was absolutely superb. I think they had five or six different guys they tried on him throughout the course of the game. Vasali was an excellent link man. Hart, the back line, Little. I don't think there was a weak link in the South Fremantle side. And let's have a look at the way they destroyed the game in the first quarter. We've restricted our highlights to the first and second quarter, and here are the first of them.
Only a pace for Lynch. Goes towards centre half forward for the Southerners, looking for Michael. Over his head into the forward line and goes. A chance for Winmar. Going to get a kick. He plays on. Into the pocket it goes. And 4 points to the Southerners with Stephen Mount. Vanessa puts it back towards a full forward spot. Chance for Beers. Beers gets it into the pocket. There it comes towards full forward. Carter in front again. Carter breaking over that 25-metre line. He's run to the 50-metre line. And there's his kick towards a half-forward flank. Good play, Carter.
Enormous performance out of defence by Carter. And good use of the body by Vagona to allow Nicky Winmar to take the mark. Winmar, far too much pace at the moment. Hops it up for Mount. And Mount's taken it inside the line. Gee, they're looking good, Souths.
Great for Mount to convert after that tremendous dash from Gavin Carter.
Mount, inside 50 metres, but a fairly tight angle. The kick looks pretty good. It is.
Against the
It's a beauty.
Bad luck for Monteith in his first kick.
As Carter takes another immaculate kick in, although Mitchell's going to get there first. Wasn't paid the mark and shouldn't have been either. Cornell goes to the wing with a lovely pass to Gillies. Gillies can set up the hand pass now to Vasali. Vasali's long kick now into the forward line. Reynolds goes back, can't take the ball. Opportunity for South Fremantle. That looks like a shot. It is, and it's a good one.
The only player that's really running hard.
This is Lil. The unenviable task of kicking into the breeze, and a beautiful mark to Vagona. Benny just stands there and pops the ball into the forward line, and Gillies has got another chance to score. It's a better looking kick, straightens up, splits the middle, and South Fremantle have got 5.
Too many other players standing outside watching.
Dorotage over the top, but only as far as Malaxis. He puts it up towards Martin. Oh, dear, oh dear. Martin not having the best of days, but did well then to tap it out to Daniels. Daniels to full forward, and Claremont have got there first at the 26.5-minute mark.
Well, that was typical of the way South Fremantle, who admittedly had first use of the breeze. Yeah, he's here. Hey, they tell me there's a rumour you want to come back and play full forward for South Fremantle now that Brownie's going.
No, I'm coming back as coach. What are you talking about?
They wouldn't be able to understand you down there.
Yes, they would. The light's on, everybody's home.
I just thought about it. The highlight, Peter Waltham off air said, what are the highlights of your career? I said, being involved with Ron Alexander as a youngster till he got contact lenses and could see. And what bigger highlight than having something to do with Jacko's development?
Well, you're about on the par. How you going, Jacko?
Very good, fat man.
Which one were you talking about?
Let me have my
hang on, don't you... Listen, you're next year. Don't you be too critical, because our players are very angry with you, John Rogers. At the 16-minute mark of the last quarter, you said, and Nicky Winmar gathers the ball in and runs into a beautiful open goal, and it was Jeff Gillies.
Right. Yeah. Not
Who's angry, though, Winmar or Gillies?
Gillies.
It was Gillies. Sorry about that,
Go on, Jacko.
No, well, I got invited down here today. I thought it was Weight Watchers with the blokes up that end of the table. But then I got here and now I thought it was a gay society.
You don't have to speak about John like that. He'll hold your hand.
Do you want to take over, or you're right at that end?
No, I'm quite happy here.
Anytime you do, just let us know. We'll be right.
Nah, fire off. Go on.
How'd you fit in down at Geelong, all right?
All right, yeah. I'm fitting in quite well down there, what's he, you know.
Good mob?
Oh, yeah, pretty intelligent sort of bloke, so I fit in well, yeah.
He played for him.
He played for him, did he?
Yeah, would.
Did I what?
I didn't see his name anywhere.
Tell you what, you didn't look very far.
Not surprising.
I'm not a traditionalist, though. What's he?
Do you want to keep going, or you?
I'm loving this. Keep going.
Well, everyone's gone quiet.
Well, I don't know who to look at next.
Right. Sorry to break in on the comedy, although it was fairly comical the way Claremont were playing yesterday. But let's have a look at some more highlights of the second quarter when South Fremantle...
You didn't coach Claremont yesterday, Jacko, did you?
What was that?
You didn't coach Claremont yesterday?
No, I didn't coach Claremont.
Would you like to?
No, not after yesterday. I've never
Right
heard
into
of
the square it goes. All players battling, and of all players to get it, Nicky Winmar has been awarded the kick. Nicky Winmar to have a shot for goal, and
Kicked the first goal of the game.
it's about a 4 or 5 goal breeze at the moment. He split the centre. There's the first blood to South, the 6th on the board.
And O'Connell gets that tap. It's straight down the throat of Brad Hardy, who looks like he could be playing in the centre. Cleverly knocked on by Vagona into the path of Winmar. He's left it behind, but has possession again. Left foot kick from Nicky Winmar is absolutely champagne football from right centre wing. Long kick into the forward line. Monteith is the target. Hayes over the top. Monteith not paid.
It's stiff.
As through comes Lynch, got the hand pass away. Souths are out of trouble as Vasoli has given it to Hayes. Hayes' long kick. Underneath that was Kickett, but brilliantly done by Winmar. Socket off the ground by Winmar into the path of Hart. Hart back to Winmar. He's inside 50 metres. He's going to get another. Oh, what an exhibition of hard-forward flank play this is.
8-6 to 2-4. Kickett goes out towards the far flank. Davidson can't get it. Grulicic is with him. Grulicic, plenty of time to come around. Boots it back with a long kick towards full forward. That's a beautiful kick from Grulicic and full points. Grulicic, Rawlinson, who's going to get it? Grulicic. Centre wing, goes long. There he is in front again. No trouble to get away from his opponent. And Nicky Winmar from 35 metres out. He's kicked 4, 3 in this quarter. Can he kick this one?
With the best game he's played so far.
Yes, he's certainly played well today. Nicky Winmar towards the northern end. He's allowed for the breeze. It's coming back beautifully. He knows where the goals are. 5 goals to Nicky Winmar, 8 goals to South.
Chance there for Grulicic. He has the ball now. A little bit long to get rid of it, I thought, and the umpire didn't blow the whistle as Cantor is tripped over. Beautiful pick-up by Little. Now Hardy into the centre of the ground, and Paul Vasoli, as he has been all day, available. Great back-up from Hardy. He gets the hand pass to Stephen Michael. Michael in turn goes further afield. The hand pass now comes out to Cocky. Cocky to full forward. Magnificent play from South Fremantle and a fitting result.
Dean Farmer's in there competing for this one. Johnny Hayes veers, throws his foot at the ball. Long kick towards full forward. The wind's taking it. It's through for full points.
Yeah, a totally dominant side, South Fremantle. As I said, approaching probably what was the perfect team combination yesterday. But of course, footy is a week-by-week proposition, and as good as they were yesterday, they must maintain that sort of momentum and maintain that form if they are to beat a very talented East Fremantle side. Let's have a look at some of the quarter-by-quarter scores, and it really shows you the game in detail. Claremont in danger of not kicking a goal in the first quarter, and really, from that point of time on, it was just how far South Fremantle. Don't take any notice of the fact that Claremont kicked 6 goals in the last quarter. Souths had the game well and truly won. Have a look now at some of the plays of the day. We were speaking about how well Souths played and the performances of Winmar and Mount. The first, though, features a bloke who didn't have a lot of work to do, but what he did extremely well. Gavin Carter.
Beers gets it into the pocket. There it comes towards full forward. Carter in front again. Carter breaking over that 25-metre line. He's run to the 50-metre line, and there's his kick towards the half-forward flank. Good play, Gavin Carter.
Enormous performance out of defence by Carter, and good use of the body by Vagona to allow Nicky Winmar to take the mark. Winmar, far too much pace at the moment, hops it up for Mount, and Mount's taken it inside the line. Gee, they're looking good, Souths.
It'd be great for Mount to convert after that tremendous dash from Gavin Carter.
Mount, inside 50 metres, but a fairly tight angle. The kick looks pretty good. It is.
What a great way to end a magnificent bit of midfield play. The next play of the day we've got for you features Brad Hardy and Michael Cockey in some superb teamwork.
He has the ball now, a little bit long to get rid of it, I thought, and the umpire didn't blow the whistle as Cantor is tripped over. Beautiful pick-up by Little. Now Hardy into the centre of the ground, and Paul Vasoli, as he has been all day, available. Great back-up from Hardy. He gets the hand pass to Stephen Michael. Michael in turn goes further afield. The hand pass now comes out to Cockey. Cockey to full forward. Magnificent play from South Fremantle.
Yeah, not bad, is it? And the last of the plays of the day featured two guys who between them kicked 14 goals yesterday, Winmar and Mount.
Centre wing, Winmar. Can't get it. Himself now. Plays on beautifully. Gets around his opponent. Boots it in towards Mount.
Oh, what a brilliant pass. He met that kick.
Look at the lead in the square. There's nobody home at all except Collard, and he takes the mark on the square.
We were right behind that run of Nicky Winmar's, and he absolutely meant that ball to go exactly where it did, straight onto the chest of Stephen Mount. And that was really the story of the game. South Fremantle just a mile too good. Have a look now at some of the contenders for the Town and Country WA goal of the day and the Ian Diffin mark of the day.
Mount inside 50 metres, but a fairly tight angle. The kick looks pretty good. It is.
Kick it goes out towards the far flank. Davidson can't get it. Grulicic is with him. Grulicic, plenty of time to come around. Boots it back with a long kick towards full forward. That's a beautiful kick from Grulicic.
Michael O'Connell. And on the far side of the ground, and a brilliant mark by Gillies.
With the breeze. Set it out to the left and bring it back, but it's not blowing that strong. It's in the pocket. It's a mark.
Winmar. He puts it out on the far side of the ground looking for Davidson. Robbed of it by Little, though. Little into the forward line. Mount. Oh, one-hander. To Malaxis. Malaxis now gets the kick to half forward. Oh, brilliant stuff from Cockey. Oh, well. Hand pass has gone astray. Gillies, on the other hand, got plenty of alternatives. There's one of them. A beautiful long kick from Winmar. Mount. Oh, can do no wrong. Because we're 33 minutes into this quarter as Gillies from 55 metres out puts it right onto the edge of the square. Mount. You can't beat him.
It's around his opponent. Boots it towards full forward. Mount.
He's got glue on his fingers.
He's still got the ball in control. Scramble going on there. Vasoli gets it now, puts it in towards full forward. Here's a chance for Gillies. He snapped. I think he's put it through. He has.
Yeah, well, it was, Peter, fairly awe-inspiring stuff. South Fremantle, just brilliant. Claremont, nothing.
How do you rate their performance yesterday?
Well, the disappointing thing, I think, in one aspect was that two players kicked the bulk of the goals. I think that's always a dangerous situation. But overall, I think it was a very good team effort, and most probably from the club's point of view, the fact that our seconds, with 16 Colts players from last year or thereabouts, were equally or fact played better than our league side. That was the highlight. I think it was a good day, and I hope that it hasn't prepared us for an ambush next Saturday.
The way you're going, or in the way the side's starting to perform, are you having any second thoughts about giving it away? They're playing better than they have for Yonks.
No, I think that you make a decision and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's good to see the rumours, and I'm pleased that Jacko's one of the applicants. I wish him all the best.
Well, I won the raffle last night, see?
Now listen, Jacko, I know that you're not publicity hungry or publicity conscious.
No, that's right.
That you don't get up to it, sort of any antics on the field.
No.
But over all the years you've played, we've put a little collection together, and I thought you might like to have a look at it.
Oh, God.
Whoa! I haven't seen a man. Look at Jacko.
Oh, here he comes. He has a golden opportunity to put Melbourne a little closer. There's the familiar drop punt, straight through. Goodness, he's away to Kelvin Moore. Tell him all about it, Mark. That's it, Jacko. Pass on the message. What a character. What a character. He's a one-man band down there.
Goodness.
Oh, dear. He is a one-man show down there. He's as happy as Larry. Kicked his first goal and he has told about 15,000 people in no uncertain manner. Oh, dear. Lines up the drop punt. That's close. Oh! Jacko knocked the goal umpire down.
Oh! Jacko's looking for 15. He's not going to get it.
15.
He's got it. Got it. Oh! And there's the new trick. That's the one we've been promising you for weeks. Jacko has done it.
Jackson, I was beginning to think, trying to contain his exuberance there, just let go for a moment.
Oh, it's a Melbourne cheer squad down there, Bob, or the Melbourne supporters behind the goal. He was saying barrack.
And Dool. Jacko, the Jacko show is in full force.
Well to look at, but it's been a very tough struggle there. Neither side can get control at the moment. We see a free kick going to Carlton.
Merv Neagle. Oh, a headbutt.
It's gone off. That's silly play, Neagle.
That is stupid.
Stupid football.
That should have been a report, and I think it will be a report.
Allah be praised. What a great game he's played.
Front of Jackson. And Jackson entertaining the crowd. Really. Mark Jackson coming out, showing great speed. Gets a hand pass out to Wilson. Wilson dummies around. Chance of a goal coming up as Wilson puts it right through the centre. Melbourne really on fire at the moment. Jackson from behind. Oh, clever play. Jackson maybe should have handballed that one out. Let's have a kick at the goals. He put it through. A great goal by Mark Jackson, and up go the arms and a little dance.
I've got one question I've got to ask you. The handstand, what's that all in aid of?
Well, the player I was playing on in that thing was Calvin Moore from Hawthorn, who's a very established full-back over there, and that was one of me in my first year, and Calvin was giving me a bit in the first game, and he said to me, Jacko, you might as well give it away, you'll never be a full forward while your bum points to the ground, so I did a handstand. Mucked him right up.
What? Of course, a logical explanation, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was.
Actually, one thing that we do, you know, because of his antics, he's a good team player and a good kick and a strong mark. Jacko's a lot better player than we all think he is, but I can recall the funniest thing beats that was Tony Bahagia at Fremantle Oval. Ran past him and in his high-pitched voice he said, he mimicked Jacko and asked him, did he have any genitals? And if you remember, and the East Fremantle boys will know this, Jacko's pulled down his pants and said, what are these? And all the people in Fremantle Hospital fainted. But Jacko, one thing I do want to finish, and I won't interfere with Peter anymore, but with your temperament and the balance and that you have, don't you think that your next step should be to umpiring?
No, I'll tell you what, they're not well over there, the umpires, I'm telling you. They're not the fullback of the Tim Tams, I'm telling you.
Jacko.
Oh, I thought you were dead. This bloke up here.
Thought he is dead. He just...
Oh, never mind about being dead. I can recall many years ago when we had you on TV and the late Mick Cronin asked you a question. You kicked a bundle of goals for South and he said, well, what's the plan before you go out there? You forwards, Robauskas, and what do you do? And Mick was waiting for a sensible answer and you said, we kiss each other. Now, I've got a serious question to ask you, Mark. I reckon you can fight a bit. Laurie Fleener said you're not bad.
Yeah, Laurie thinks
You all right?
I'm not bad. Yeah, all right.
Well, Denny Heaney, well known in the fighting and sporting circles in Western Australia, told me to make a genuine offer to you today. This is true.
Yeah.
He'll give you $8,000 if you fight Alan Black for the heavyweight title of Australia. This is true, in Perth at the end of the football season.
Well, that can be discussed with Laurie.
Okay, well, it's a genuine offer.
Right.
If you fight Alan Black...
How good is he?
I don't think he's good enough.
Anybody
Malcolm Brown will tell you.
No, Brown told me, he told me never hit anybody that's better than you.
That's right. All looking.
He never used to.
Hey,
He said it's all right to spit on him and kick him, but don't hit him.
Jacko, the one thing about him, I'll tell you, one, he's not as quick as Morris Rioli, and your nose will be intact. There won't be any blood in it, I'll tell you that for sure.
Fair dinkum. Well, there might be an earn there for me.
$8,000. It's there for the asking, mate.
I'll go in your corner. Watts will be the heavyweight on the other side.
You'll break my side of the ring if you get in my corner, Mel.
One final question. How do you reckon you're going to go on Tuesday playing for WA?
What was that? Actually, that was a bit of a disappointment. I missed out on a game, and that's fair enough. But I thought I was doing the job, and I was in with the show.
But you're not a West Australian, are you? Victoria?
Yes, I am. I played my first game here.
Oh, so what? You're born and bred in the slums of Richmond. What are you talking about?
That's not my fault.
Righto. You can have the last word, Brownie.
Tell Marty, it's all right for Marty to be rude to you, but you tell him how you and your dad used to go to school together.
I learned a lot off my dad. I can always remember him walking me to school because he's in the same grade. Actually, Mum and Dad have been blue, and I heard Dad. I haven't seen him for 3 months, and Mum's a bit upset, and I think he's come over here. So if anybody sees him, send him home. Tell him his tea's cold.
On that note. On that note, as much as I hate to do it, we'll take a break. Welcome back to wherever we are after what's happened in the last 10 minutes. Down here at East Fremantle Oval. Next week we shift just the other side of the bridge to Fremantle Oval for the big game that's being played down here next week. That's the Derby. On the subject now of umpires, the Umpires Award has been made for the second round, and to make the announcement, the General Manager of the WA Football League, Peter Bolo. Peter?
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, the second series is just concluded, as you're aware, and there are awards each series for the umpires in the Ampol Umpires Awards. And for the second series of matches, a rather new name in umpiring, but the winner is Paul Mannix, who umpired only 4 games in the second series due to injury, but he averaged those points and was declared the winner. David Johnson was second, Mike Ball, who won the first series, was third, and Ron Bucky fourth.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much. David, any comments on Paul Mannix?
Paul Mannix came from Victoria about 3 or 4 years ago, has been plagued by injury. Good to see him in only 8 games this year get up and win the award. And to the guy that wins it this year, the trip to London, don't forget I don't mind carrying suitcases, and I'll be taking my long service leave about then, so keep that in mind. So
I see. Right. You might change your mind and get back out with a whistle, or would you rather be up here with all us good-looking fellas?
I could lose some weight first, wouldn't I?
I thought you were talking to me. What about West Perth and Perth yesterday? Perth dismal. West Perth good enough to stay where they are or not?
West Perth are definitely, they have the ability. They played team football yesterday in the second half, and they'll be there in the finals. Don't worry about that. Perth kept it up to West Perth yesterday, up until the 15-minute mark. Ramsey Bogunovic came onto the ball. He took control of the centre. Peter Managlio and Les Fong fired when Ramsey Bogunovic got going. And they assisted the centre line players who were playing superbly at that stage, and that was Warwick, Mikalchik and Mifka. As I said, they took control of the centre line, they took control on the ball, and they directed that ball very well, very effectively into the forward line, and they created opportunities for the forward players. They had 2 avenues of attack. One, they could put the ball up high, and Craig Nelson was in a position in the forward pocket to take the high mark. And also Derek Kickett, the full forward for West Perth. He'll be a player of the future. I think he's improving more and more as I see him. He led superbly. The ball was delivered to him, and if he messed it up, they had the players who could scout around the packs, pick up the ball and have shots for goal. Overall, I thought West Perth played very well in the second half. As I said earlier, they'll be there in the finals. If they play like they did in the second half yesterday, they'll be there at the business end of the season. Perth, on the other hand, fell away.
What show do you give Perth?
Not much, Watsy. I think that they've tried hard. They've got young players, but you know, I think Ian Miller's the man for the job. Give him 2 more years, and I think Perth will be a force.
What about Robert Wiley?
Robert Wiley proved himself yesterday. Superb player. He opened up the centre of the ground for Perth, but didn't have enough assistance.
Okay, thanks very much, David. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for JKW and the junior football segment.
Welcome to Watsy's Junior League, and first of all, let's have a look at the results of the Little League yesterday. Here they are. Claremont defeated South Fremantle, East Fremantle defeated Subiaco, East Perth defeated Swan Districts, and West Perth defeated Perth. Let's have a look at the league ladder. Claremont on top with 40, Swan Districts 36, along with East Perth 36, Subiaco 32, West Perth and East Fremantle 28, Perth 24, and South Fremantle 16. And my Junior League member, give him a hand everybody, Nathan Higgins. Welcome along, Nathan.
Hi.
How are things?
Good.
Good. Who do you play for?
Westminster Balga.
Now, who do you barrack for?
West Perth.
West Perth, eh? Who's your favourite footballer at West Perth?
Phil Bradmore and Les Fong.
Phil Bradmore. What position do you play?
Rover.
Hey, they tell me that you've been runner-up to the fairest and best 5 years in a row. Is this fair dinkum?
Yeah.
Well, how come you've never won it?
I don't know.
You're runner-up the same guy?
Yep.
What, does his father coach the team?
No.
Eh?
No.
What position do you like? Do you like Rover best?
Yes.
What do you like about being a Rover, the same as Les Fong, having shots for goals?
I just like it.
You just like it, do you? All right, Nathan, on behalf of Chesson, Burley, there's a footy for you. It's a Sharks footy. Do you like the Sharks at all?
No, I hate them.
I'll tell you what, if there's a fight here, I'm on your side because there's not one person here that could do me over. There's your West Perth shorts. Clark Johnson from Adidas, always to the party. Thanks, Clark. And there's your boots, and thanks very much, Nathan, for coming along. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Incidentally, kids out there, if you'd like to join Watsy's Junior League, all you have to do is put your name, address on the back of an envelope, post it to Watsy's Junior League, Recare Radio 6PR, 340 Hay Street, Perth. And incidentally, I will have your membership badges out. We've got them now. All you have to do is send in, post them into us. We'll send out your badge, and then you go into the barrel, and you could win a trip to the MCG to see the Victorian Football League Grand Final. Okay. Back a little later, we'll be back to World of Sport. We'll take a break.
Welcome back to East Fremantle Oval, the home of the Sharks, who are celebrating not only their win yesterday, but of course the 1965 Premiership. On the subject of the state match, the Victorians this morning have made a couple of announcements regarding Tuesday's game. The Hawthorn ruck rover Michael Tuck has been named as captain of the Victorian side. The Essendon centre-half forward Terry Danaher vice-captain. And an interesting development this morning is that Paul Vanderhaar, another Essendon player, has been dropped from the Victorian squad. On that subject, we might welcome an old son of East Fremantle as well, won a premiership down here, and now the state coach, of course, Jay Todd. John, welcome.
Thanks, Peter. Great to be here.
We'll get to discussing the state game a little bit later, but obviously Danaher, you'd be pleased to see Vanderhaar out?
He's been playing very well. It surprises me they've left him behind, but then again they've perhaps got to look at the balance and the structure of their side, and no doubt they feel they can do without him. Simple as that.
Righto, Stan. Well, let's get with Bob Phillips and Toddy to the game from Bassendean yesterday, Swans and East Perth. Stanley?
Well, John, it was a great, well, not a great return to form, I suppose. There was still some areas, though, I think Swans can tidy up in, but a good return to form for them. East Perth, who were, I thought, played very well against East Fremantle last week. I thought East Fremantle were a little lucky to win that game, and I was looking forward to a good contest yesterday. But East Perth really just a little bit undermanned. Swans, to me, showed a lot more endeavour. They seem to be a lot more hungrier for the ball, John.
That's true, Stan. They've been off the boil for about 3 or 4 weeks. It was pleasing to see a number of players commit themselves, and, well, the result was there at the end of the day. We have a few problems that we have to overcome, but still that's a start. With 6 games to go, I think we can blend into being a competitive side and a very hard side to beat around finals time.
OK, we'll have a look at some highlights of the first quarter featuring Joe Armat, who I thought played very well when he went to the centre of the ground. Mark Blakely for East Perth had been doing some good things.
Nicely to Satori. Towards the forward pocket, Richardson was run right past it. Away come East Perth through Fullerton. Out towards Richard Dennis with Langsford. Langsford keeping a very close eye on him. Yeah, free kick picked out of that one, Bob.
Yeah, it's a very lucky kick then. I thought Richard Dennis tripped over himself and fell over the boundary line. The umpire saw it differently.
Dennis goes up to Blakely, left alone on that half-forward flank. He's got Spencer loose in the forward pocket. This is danger for Swan. Spencer's gone deep into the pocket. He didn't have to go quite that deep. He's had a chance to steady, put it on its way, and threaded it beautifully through. Good goal to Peter Spencer at the 16-minute mark. Markle keeping it on this flank. Goes forward, tried to get around. Good tackle by Carpenter. Shouldn't try it on a player like that. Mick Johns to Langsford. They kept possession. Richardson traps it well. Got no one to give it to, though. Well tackled by Blakely. Sheldon to Otway. To the forward pocket. John Scott out in front this time of Malooly.
Yes, East Perth would dearly love to kick this goal, I think, on the 24-minute mark of the first quarter, and that would give them a back to a 2-goal lead, which they would badly need.
John Scott splits the centre with it, and East Perth go away. Their 6th goal comes up at the 25-minute mark. Half-forward flank for East Perth with the breeze in this quarter. Up to the top goes Mick Johns towards Kimberley, running right down from the wing. He's trapped by Morgan. Through comes Hetherington for Swans. Shepherded nicely, allows him to go on with it. Up towards half-forward. Chance for Otway. Now it's Sheldon. Taught a little high, but goes on with it well. Vacant wing, Morgan crash. Goes through with courage. Peter Spencer now. Chance for East Perth. Otway up towards full forward. Ironmonger, the double grab. Nearly marked it off there, but Outridge takes it away. Back along the boundary. That's the place to keep it, but Morgan has read it for East Perth. Straight across field. Blakely left unattended at half forward. Blakely been a busy player on the centre wing today. Takes a shot from 40 metres out. Looks good off the boot. There's another very handy one to East Perth. That's their 8th goal on the board at the 28-minute mark.
They take a while to...
East Perth played very well in that first quarter, mainly through the agency of Mark Blakely. But Toddy, a guy who played very well for Swan Districts yesterday. There was, in fact, 2 fellas who I think did good things. One was Brett Hutton, kicking 8 goals at full forward, played very well, marked strongly, led as though he really wanted the ball.
Yes, Stan, he had a poor day against West Perth, and I spoke to him through the week, and I said he was capable of kicking a bundle of goals, and he certainly said about it, and 8 goals is a credit to the guy. The way he marked under pressure was superb, and he finished his game off by kicking very accurately.
Toddy, I think you'd be more than pleased with the way that the team went in relation to only having, what, 9 players from last year's grand final team playing yesterday?
Yeah, at the moment, that's the number we have from last year is 9 only from last year's grand final side. But then again, there's players that are injured which will certainly come back into our side. People like Neesham and Shine and Fogarty, Skarowski, they're all out at the present moment, but all sides have injuries and some of the players lose form. But the thing that I was pleased about yesterday, we dropped a few players, we rearranged our side, And now the pressure goes back on these guys. So that's one of the unfortunate things that we've had to face up with this year, lack of depth. And a lot of players have been a little bit complacent. They've been getting a game each week, and that doesn't breed toughness in a club, and we hope that we are on the right track from now.
Okay, we'll now have a look at some highlights from the second quarter, where we see a good goal on the run from Kim Hetherington, who did some good things yesterday, and also a goal by Satori, who played very well at centre-half forward when he went there.
Hetherington, he's got time to steady inside the 50-metre line with the breeze behind him. Hetherington steadies, shoots. There goes Swan District's 5th goal on the board, brought up in the 2nd minute of the second quarter. Satori flicks it over the back. Narkle now. Keith Narkle spinning nicely. Looks for Kimberley, half-forward flank. Coleman from behind, though, but gave it straight to Joe Armat. Armat to half-forward. Holmes is loose. Here's danger. Closes to 35 metres. Gone home steadies. Bang! Swan District put their 2nd on the board for this quarter at the 5-minute mark. Straight across to Kevin Sparks, fresh man on the ground. Sparks over the top. Whoops to Bartlett. And they go again. Otway with a chance. Tunnel ball going on at the moment. And there's a free kick picked out going the way of Swans, Donny Langsford. Up to the centre wing, Peter Ware streaming up from half forward. He's giving Ian Berry a bit of hurry up at the moment, isn't he? His outreach goes to Kimberley at half forward. Swan's looking dangerous. There's the lead, comes from Hutton. Knocked off by Fullerton though. Blackaby a chance forward pocket. Hutton back to Satori. Great play by Swans. Oh, brilliant snap by Satori. Right on target. Swans' 8th goal at the 20-minute mark. Swans having a good run, winning the ball out of the centre at the moment. Mick Johns goes up and wins the knock again, but Dennis tries to charge his way through. Gives it to Joe Armat. Hutton streaming out ahead of Fullerton again. Hutton's got good ball control, but this time he left it behind. Fullerton gives it to Kimberley under pressure. Kimberley goes to Blackaby. Swans looking good.
Yes, great play then by Barry Kimberley. He used all the experience he's developed over the years. Could have blasted away at goals, but no, steadied and saw Ed Blackaby waiting on the 25-metre line, and beautiful pass straight onto Ed Blackaby's chest.
They've won it out of the centre again, Bob.
Yes, that was again by Mick Johns. Mick Johns does very well in the centre bounce dance. And of course, East Perth have taken John Ironmonger off the ball at this stage.
Blackaby steadies. There it goes. Drifts it nicely through. Swans increase their lead to 8 points at the 23-minute mark.
We'll have a look at the quarter-by-quarter scores, and from that you can see East Perth, who had the win in the fourth quarter, kicked 8 goals, but Swans managed to kick 4 in the second quarter. Swans kicked 8, East Perth could only manage 1 goal, and in the third quarter, Swan Districts in fact outscored East Perth. Swans kicking against the win, and it was really shut the gate for East Perth. Toddy, Murray Rance yesterday, who had a real downer against West Perth, a good return to form, particularly considering he was playing on Campbell, whose form of late's been good.
That's true, Stan, but then again, you'd expect that of Murray. I believe that Murray's got a big future in football, and he was certainly off the boil against West Perth, but he was switched on yesterday and played extremely well.
Right, we'll have a look now at a watcher decision involving John Scott. John takes a mark, or is it a mark? We'll have a look at it and see what you think.
Mick Johns rucking well at the moment. Ironmonger with nobody to give it to. He found Blakely. That was a good hand pass. Blakely snaps under a lot of pressure. Out wide to John Scott. Oh, just tapped away at the very last minute. Good play by Malili.
No, it looks like it's a free kick or a mark to John Scott.
Did you see that one, Bob? I couldn't pick
it. I thought it was a great spoil by the Swan District's defender. I don't believe there was a mark there, but the umpire has paid the mark, and John Scott will have a shot at goals from deep in the right full forward pocket.
Pretty friendly one, Bob.
Yes, I don't think that was a mark in any way or form, but unfortunately the umpire saw it differently. You take the good with the bad.
Right. We'll have a look now at the pass of the day involving Brett Hutton.
Ball gets it to Brenton. Brenton looking for the hand pass to Hutton, who got a kick to it. That was brilliant play by Hutton.
Occasionally,
the soccer.
Well, occasionally you try these things and they come off. I think that really typified the way Brett Hutton played yesterday. We'll now have a look at the contenders for the Town and Country WA goal of the day and the Ian Diffin mark of the day.
13 minutes played and East Perth are a point in front. Comes down to Morgan. He's snapshot under a lot of pressure. That could be close. Oh, what a brilliant goal under pressure. Coming in short, punched away by Ironmonger from behind. Picked up and snipped away at goal. That was brilliant snap for goal. Now Morgan for East Perth. Towards full forward, Johnny Scott, double grab, brilliant mark, Johnny Scott. Blackaby a chance forward pocket, Hutton back to Satori, great play by Swans. Oh, brilliant snap by Satori, right on target. Swans' 8th goal at the 20-minute mark. Making a mad run for it inside the boundaries, got it too. Towards full forward, Ware and Berry, Ware into the air, oh, top mark, Peter Ware.
Oh, tremendous mark then by Peter Ware, flew high into the air.
Steve Richardson kicking directly into the breeze. It'll be a long kick from there. Got it on its way, but look at it sit up into the breeze. Through comes Hutton with a strong mark. Satori down there doing the ruck work against Cocker. Blackaby emerges. He's put a high one up there. Hutton another chance. Ware from behind. Soccer's off the ground. What's he done? Oh, great goal to Peter Ware. At the 18-minute mark, Swans kick their 15th. Hence to Johns. In front, Richardson from behind, Carpenter, what a mark. Looks towards full forward, Hutton ahead of Fullerton again. Hutton strong in the air today. Christian intent on punching, but it comes down to Hutton, the crumbs. He snaps away for goal. Oh, this will be a magnificent goal. He's done it. Who's behind him? It's Tony Capotto. Steadies, oh, he skewed it right offline. John Scott, the beautiful one-handed mark. What a beauty to John Scott. Off the pack by Kavanagh, number 10. Down to Marshall, hand passed into the danger zone. Campbell comes out of the pack with it, screws back over the shoulder, and that's an excellent goal to Grant Campbell. Ironmonger again, but Armat emerges towards full forward. Fullerton and Hutton doing battle. Hutton, oh, what a mark.
Great play by Brent Hutton.
Gets it over to Solon, Tony Solon, the half forward. Out comes Hutton again. Oh, it's top mark. What a
tremendous mark again by Brent Hutton.
Coming back inboard again was intelligent. In towards full forward, Peter Ware behind Sparks. Ware, great mark.
Yes, a typical Peter Ware mark. Loves to pull those down during a game, and that's his second good mark in a very simple.
Toddy, we just saw Peter Ware on the highlights there. You played him in the centre yesterday. You started off with Peter Ware in the centre and Kim Hetherington ruck roving.
Yes, that's true, Stan. Once again, there's a little bit of a shake-up, as I'd previously mentioned. I thought Hetherington played very well on the ball. I thought Ware played quite well through the middle off the half-forward line. I thought Joe Armat played very well in the middle of the ground also. So we have a few more options, and that's all argues well for the future. Bob?
Toddy, where does Joe Armat come from? You've been hiding him from somewhere, I think. It's the first time I've seen him play, and he played an exceptionally good game across the centre line.
He's a Darwin lad. He played one game previously against Subiaco and played poorly, and then he was injured in the reserves and was out for a number of weeks, but he's played quite well in the reserves leading up to yesterday's game. But he certainly is a player. He's quick, he tackles very well, applies a lot of pressure to players.
Yeah, he does. He applies a lot of pressure on the player.
He'll pose a few problems to a number of players before the end of the year.
What's the situation, Toddy, with Peter Satori?
Peter injured himself slightly yesterday, which was sad, but I believe it's not serious, and he's keen to play Tuesday, but I doubt that very much. But,
Toddy, Brett Hutton's kicked 8 goals yesterday, and another fella here on my left kicked 9. What's the chance of who's going to get in the stateside out of those two?
Well, it's amazing with Ron Alexander. He's changed his image. He's had a haircut. He's the first one to training with his gear, and he's available. It's amazing, isn't it?
Just before we leave this game, I think that we shouldn't forget that East Perth were part of it, and I think that East Perth really didn't put up a bad performance. They lost in most of the key positions, and yet I think finished up the game 32 points in arrears, and I suppose they really fought it out, and I think to their credit, they stuck with Swans as far as the game went.
Yeah, they did. As I mentioned, I saw them against East Fremantle last week. They're probably just a little undermanned at the moment. I thought Greg Carpenter was a great performer for them yesterday, but Toddy, you've got Claremont next week. Can you keep in that winning vein? I think you've got to if you want to finish in the top 4.
Well, that's true, Stan. It's the business end of the year. Claremont are desperate for a win. We're desperate for a win to hold our place. It'll be a great game of football. Claremont and Swans, they're always exciting games, but we can't afford to lose. It's as simple as that.
Right.
Okay, Toddy, thanks very much, fellas. We'll be back with Toddy later on in the program this morning talking about the state game on Tuesday. We'll take a break. Just before we do, though, obviously, again, our thanks to the ABC who provided the vision of the game yesterday between Swans and East Perth Forestiers this morning. Back in just a moment.
Yep.
Welcome to Foodland's Football Mastermind, and of course our three contestants today are George Prince. Put your hands together from East Fremantle. Welcome along, George.
Thanks, John.
Any relation to the George Prince that played full forward?
I'm led to believe he's my father.
It's a wise man that knows his own father. Brian Atkinson from West Perth. Give him a hand.
Thanks, John.
And of course, Tony Poole from the Perth Football Club.
Hi.
Incidentally, the Foodmaster Football Mastermind, first prize is a voucher for $150, and of course the runners-up a $50 voucher each. Okay, fellas, you know how to play the game. The first one to press the buzzer after I ask you the question, you give me the correct answer, and that's one to you, right? Okay, away we go. First question, name the player who replaced Graham Melrose as captain of East Fremantle. Yes, Tony?
Sorry, I don't know.
Brian?
Keith Knuckle.
Wrong.
Doug Green.
Doug Green, you're right. Okay. East Perth coach Greg Brio coached which South Australian League club?
Central Districts.
Right, Brian? No, sorry. Woodville. How old was Perth's Brian Cousins when he left WA to take up a 3-year contract with Geelong? Brian?
20.
Wrong, 21. In what year has the entrance fee to the WAFL game increased to $1? In what? Yes, George?
1968.
No, it was 1974. Claremont's Bruce Monteith captained which VFL club? Brian?
Richmond.
Right. Name the former East Perth champion who joined Carlton in 1968. Brian?
Sid Jackson.
Right. Name the two teams who figured in the only drawn grand final. Brian?
Claremont and East Fremantle.
You are right. In what year was the last Derby grand final? George?
1979.
1979, you're right. Who coached the Tigers when they finished wooden spooners in 1975? Tony?
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown, you are right. A former Subiaco and State ruckman is also a Rhodes Scholar. What is his name? George?
Mike Fitzpatrick.
Mike Fitzpatrick, you're right. Former West Perth coach Graham Campbell played with which VFL club? Brian?
Fitzroy.
Fitzroy, you are right. In which year did Swan Districts play in their first grand final? George?
1943.
1943, they lost to East Fremantle. Name the former Swan District Sandover medalist who was elected president of the WAFL. Brian?
Jim Davies.
Jim Davies, you're right. In what year did Victoria's David Parkin commence coaching Subiaco? Tony? 1975, you were right. Who was the former Victorian who coached West Perth to a premiership in 1960? George?
Arthur Oliver.
Arthur Oliver, you are right. And our adjudicator there, where is he? Oh, there he is. Mike?
It's a tie. It's a tie between George and Brian. They finished with 5 each.
Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. They'll split the prize. And they'll turn up next week, of course, to...
I thought it was much more fun last week when I did it.
Oh, OK, let's get on with our time for the electronic sales and rental footy quiz. And the question for last week, name the player who scored the same amount of votes as John Ironmonger for the 1983 Sandover medal. It was Brian Cousins of Perth. And I don't know if you draw these out, Wally, but this is very
I had nothing, I repeat, nothing to do with it.
At any rate, the first correct winner, judges drawn out by the judges, Raylene Winmar of 480 Montham Street in Mount Barker. Congratulations, Raylene, and this is what you have won. Have a look at
As this week's winner of the NEC Electronic Sales and Rentals Football Quiz, you have won a Rank Arena VHS video cassette recorder with 10-function cord remote control, including channel selector and shuttle search. And to complement your new recorder, you have also won 300 movie swaps from the vast Electronic Sales and Rentals video library.
Right, now here's this week's questions for all those people at home. When South Fremantle won the 1970 Premiership, who was their captain and coach? When South Fremantle won the 1970 Premiership, who was their captain and coach? And here's where to send your entries. Make sure you put your name and your address and the answer on the back of an envelope and post it NEC Electronic Sales and Rentals Footy Quiz, care of Channel 7, Post Office Box 7, Chewett Hill 6060, or you can hand deliver it to Electronic Sales and Rentals, corner Railway Parade and Central Avenue in Maylands. OK, Pete, it's back to you, pal.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Last week, of course, we introduced the TAA home game draw, a competition which would allow a husband and wife and 2 children to have a magnificent holiday with the compliments of TAA and the WA Football League. And let's welcome the General Manager again, Peter Bowler of the WA Football League, and also the TAA Sales Manager in Western Australia, Ian Simmons. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And may I introduce this barrel, which is the right size, but unfortunately the wrong colour. Never mind, have a decent barrel next week. We had an absolutely enormous amount of entries yesterday. The first home game was conducted at Leederville Oval yesterday, so Ian, I'll let you do the honours.
Thanks, Peter. The winner is Mr. P. Rose, 15 Ray Place in Hillary's.
Mr. Rose, 15 Ray Place in Hillary's, congratulations to you. And this is a magnificent competition. Maybe, Ian, the best thing to do is you can explain to them where they're going, what they're doing.
For sure, Pete. There's 7 prizes in all, and Mr. Rose, or P. Rose, has won a trip for 2 adults and 2 children to Surfers Paradise. The Paradise Luxury Centre is the first accommodation house that we've got, and he will be having a holiday there at any time within the next 12 months.
Now some of these are hotels, some are apartments, are they?
That's right, Pete. Yes, they're all a varying degree of accommodation houses throughout the Surfers Paradise and Noosa Heads. They've been provided with the compliments of the Queensland Government Travel Centre, and TAA, of course, is flying them across to the Gold Coast.
What's the prize worth all up?
The prize is worth in the vicinity of around about $3,500, Peter.
That's not a bad holiday, is it?
It's certainly a good holiday, and when you consider that there are 7 of them all told, so there's a...
Well, let's have a look. We can have a look now at the home game draws. Now, these are applicable, as I said, to the home games only, and you put your entry in the barrel at the ground. Now, the home games, next week, the Derby, East Fremantle and South Fremantle, then South Fremantle and Swan Districts, then Claremont and Subiaco, then Swan Districts and East Fremantle, then Subiaco and Swans, and then Perth and Claremont. And there are some magnificent prizes to be won, as I said. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Peter, just one final comment from you on the standing room tickets for the big game on Tuesday.
Thanks, Pete. Yes, I would like to talk about this very briefly. For the first time this year, we introduced standing room tickets sold in advance, and we've had a tremendous response to them for the interstate game. We've sold something like 13,000 tickets for Tuesday's game, but I just wanted to assure the viewers that there will be tickets available at the gates on Tuesday. We will definitely have tickets available for the people coming to the game. If they haven't got their tickets, they can still come along. We'll assure them they'll be able to get in. Within reason, we'll close the gates at 45,000, as we said, but there will be several thousand tickets available at the gate. But tomorrow, if you wish to purchase your tickets, you can do so at the Perth Entertainment Centre or at the West Australian Football League office up until 5 o'clock tomorrow.
And the most important thing of all is the fact that the game doesn't start at the time of a normal game here in WA.
That's correct, Peter. The game will start at 1:45. The 1:45 start has been brought in to allow a direct telecast in the eastern states, so please remember the game will be starting early at 1:45 on Tuesday. It's the main game.
Thanks, Pete. OK, we'll be back in a moment with, I suppose you could call it This Is Your Life. Welcome back to East Fremantle Oval, and now let's turn the clock back. The year was 1965, the venue was Subiaco Oval, and it was East Fremantle and Swan Districts.
Bursting his way through now is Lang trying to come out with the ball, held without it, says the umpire, and Lang bursting away again, but will be brought back by the umpire, Freddie Woods, to take his kick backward of the centre. House, I should say. House it is, putting the ball out to the left centre wing. Mark has been accepted out there by Trevor Sprigg. East Fremantle quite content to slow the game down. 18-17, 1:25 East Fremantle. There's another pass taken by East Fremantle at left half forward. Back they go to attack once again, right over to the full forward zone. Johnson flies high, knocked away by Bosich, picked up again by Detman. Swan defenders trying to bring it away. Lawson goes after it off the ground again by East Fremantle, right up close to the goals. Laurie Watson racing after the ball, keeps it in play. Michael Regan picks it up close to the boundary line, snaps it out of the boot, and it's one flag, another point. 32 minutes of play gone here in the grand final, another point to East Fremantle. They've certainly got this 1965 grand final in their pocket at this moment. There's the kick in from Lawson. McVie flying in the front position, knocked away by Casserly from behind. Swan Districts coming out with the ball, putting it right down to the centre half forward position. Lang coming across, takes the mark for East Fremantle. 18-18 Old East, Swan Districts 16, goals 6. Lang bouncing the ball away towards the half-back flank. Puts it out towards the far side of the ground once again and out of bounds, and we'll see a throw-in coming on the right centre wing for Swan Districts, the left centre wing for East Fremantle, and what a magnificent last quarter it's been.
A long last quarter too, Brian. 33 minutes gone, and East Fremantle certainly found a lease of life from somewhere in this last quarter of an hour.
East Fremantle only seconds away from their pennant. The siren must go any second now. Play very close to the boundary line. Bentley coming out with the ball. Back towards the half-forward line. Ken Bagley diving after the ball. Takes a fine mark for Swan Districts. Bagley down to the half-forward line again for Swans. They're not giving in an inch either. Knocked on again by Rakic. Here's Lang after the ball towards the boundary line. Lang gets the boot into it. Up it goes towards Cormac, and Manning racing for it towards the wing, and it's out of bounds once again for another throw. 33.5 minutes of play gone here in the final quarter of the 65 grand final. The throw in coming, taken by Emery, gets the ball down to the advantage of Cormac. Cormac putting Old East into attack, up to the half-forward line it goes. Deadman goes high, almost pulls down the mark. Players on top of it at right half-forward for East Fremantle, and again Freddie Woods running over to bounce the ball down again. 34 minutes of play gone here in the final quarter. Very little time to go as umpire Woods bounced the ball in front of the public stand. Swans trying to get it out of the danger zone. The whistle sounds, and it's Swan Districts to take a kick up there on the half-back line. Billy Walker it is. There goes the siren, and right now...
That was the way it all happened in the year of 1965, and sitting on my left is Mr. Robert Johnson. Bob, welcome back to East Fremantle.
Thank you very much.
I'm just wondering, is he a doctor? Are you a doctor now, Bob? What's the outfit?
I've had a lot of comments about this outfit this morning. No, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a doctor of carving beef, you see. There's a mate of mine, Laurie Hunt's, doing a show at Perry Lake for the rugby today, so I'm going up there with him.
You're going up to do a bit of carving?
He's what they call full ball.
And on my right-hand side, if I can introduce him as well, a member of that victorious side, Tony Casserly. Tony. Well, gentlemen, that must bring back a few memories, Bob?
Oh, it's fantastic, but as Johnny said, it looks pre-war. 20 years ago, long strides. The game's really speeded up, hasn't it?
How much has it changed, Tony?
Oh, it's certainly got a lot quicker, and I believe that the players put in a lot more time than we did in training. Particularly when we had players like Bob, that they didn't train particularly hard and might have found it wanting in these days. But I think it's got faster, and they use the ball a lot more than what we used to do. But I think we would have given them a run for our money.
Marty, you coached then, didn't you?
Yeah, I coached the same time as Bob did down here, and we had a lot of
you weren't much good either, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I thought I was a top coach with ordinary cattle, but John Rogers tested me to some of your tough play in those days. He told me he had you lined up once in a semi-final, missed, but you didn't miss him. Smashed his nose, and it's the reason why he gets so much heavily made up before the shows every time.
Yeah, well,
he's still wearing that broken nose.
Yeah, well, John deserved what he got that day because he'd served it up to a few of our little blokes there in earlier games. So I'm glad I got you in the end, John.
Hey, Bob, every time I go over to Melbourne and I say, whatever happened to Bob Johnson? They said he's still playing football. Now, when have you given it away?
I gave it away 4 years ago. I thought I was starting to get a bit old, John. Yeah. But I'd like to tell Jacko, is Jacko still here? Jacko, watch, he's not gay. I went out with him in Tasmania one night and he was out with Sheila's with me. Is that right?
Well, you're the only guy ever to put a send-off for me when I left Western Australia. Remember that? I don't know whether we're good mates or he's just glad to get rid of me.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Tony, lovely to see you again. The big night last night with all the players.
It was a wonderful night last night, and congratulations to the club. I thought they put on a superb performance, particularly Wilson Onions and the past players.
Well done.
And also that to see so many supporters turn up here and make us feel very, very welcome. It was a proud night in 1965, and was equally as proud to be here last night.
Well said, Tony. Bob? We'll be back here at East Fremantle Oval after this break. Righto, that's all right. You can duck past. Welcome back to East Fremantle Oval. We're going to talk now about the game between Subiaco and East Fremantle, and to talk about it is Ron Alexander and also Marty McDonald and also Jimmy Chadwick. Chaddy, nice to see you down here.
Well, it's lovely to be in East Fremantle territory.
That's Bob Johnson was sitting there. Sit down, sit down.
I thought I was as big as Bob Johnson.
Sit back in the chair, you'll be all right.
But it's great to be down here, and it's great to see the team going so well. I think, and I know it's only halfway through the season, so you can't take it for granted you're going to go premiers. Don't fall into the trap of getting complacent. I know Ron Alexander and Murray Wood will look after you in that department, and I'm sure the boys realise it's going to be a hard task, a lot of hard work between here and the grand final, but when that grand final siren sounds at Subiaco Oval, after the last ball's been kicked, those East Fremantle players are going to walk off Subiaco Oval, kings of Western Australian football.
Well, little Jimmy knows.
What have you got to say to that?
He knows how to make himself popular in his own territory. Know that about you, James.
I speak the truth, Marty. Always speak the truth.
Well, hopefully, anyhow. Anyhow, Peter, on to the game. I notice we've got the two of the top men in the business with us today, and number one, Alexander, and his 80 comp in Murray Ward. Nice to see you, Murray. And
thanks, Marty. Thanks very much.
And I notice you've been accepted gracefully in the East Fremantle camp after transferring from Claremont.
Yes, Marty. It's a very good club and deep in tradition. And the response that we've had in our football plans for this year have been enormous. It took some time for East Fremantle supporters to be convinced that we were a football power, but I think we can push on with that now, and they're supporting us very well.
Well, getting on to the game, we'll let go, Peter, and discuss the game.
Away we go. Let's go. Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights, and then we can get into why.
Yeah, we'll get into the highlights, and the initial part of the highlights is plays. We picked a segment like Plays of Days. The whole thing revolves around the dominance of the East Fremantle players, how they run, how they executed it, and went right on from there. And the first highlights, have a look at some of the East Fremantle good stuff.
Mark, Neil Taylor, cleverly to Featherby. Featherby in looking for Brown, it won't bounce up for him. Gets the hand pass away though to Sells. Sells has kicked a goal. Now a chance for Dean. Looks for the hand pass to Clinton Brown. Brown to Sells. Here's that danger man again. He can hand pass it over if he wants to. He does to O'Loughlin, and O'Loughlin has banged through Subiaco's third of the match. Spills off his hands to Featherby. Featherby to Sells. Sells the dummy. Lines up with the left boot and has banged through Subiaco's fifth. Holt in front. Now Featherby comes into contest and cops a real ripper of a hip and shoulder from Holt. But Sells is good enough to back up for his side. Very acute angle from about 15 metres out. What a great goal!
Beautiful effort by Stephen Sells. Well, unfortunately,
what we wanted to do was just upset the people at East Fremantle. I wouldn't come down here and let them have a nice time. I thought Subiaco played pretty well.
Well, I noticed you put the shonky in there, Peter. That's a bit rough. Now, you showed the only segment of the Subi side when they did fire, and that player Stephen Sells, he was one of the very few that contributed, I thought, Ron.
We got some gremlins in the machine down the bottom, so let's forget about that.
They're not unhappy about it down here, but they can accept that. They won.
Ron, tell me first of all, why did you start on the ground and Bennett didn't?
Well, if you'd been at the game, you would have realised that Bennett did start on the ground.
All right.
And
point taken.
Well, why did you drag
Point taken.
Darren was playing at full forward, and I started in the forward pocket. Darren was leading, and I was dropping back into the goal square, and things were working fairly well. We wanted to get Jeff Cassidy on to the ground and give him a run, so we gave Darren a rest and then brought him back later on in the game.
Ron, it would be remiss of us not to show the talents and the expertise of the East Fremantle side. Now we have that first clip. Just sit back and have a look at this. I hope we've got that clip. Yes, we have.
But Ford and Wilson has dropped back behind Bremen and Featherby to take a good mark. So Peter Wilson, torpedo punt, looking for Alexander. Oh, how good is he today? Gee, he read that well.
Yeah, no, Phil Scott was told to play in front, obviously, by Hayden Bunt, and he did that. A little bit high, couldn't reach it. The big fella leant back, as you can see, and took the mark. Bad luck, Scott. Good play, Alexander.
Alexander lining up for his 4th goal of the day. Makes no mistake. Now Turco, hand pass to Cassidy. He hasn't been on the ground yet today. Straight to Taylor. Taylor lines up from 35 metres and has missed. No, he hasn't. He's goal. Browning brings the ball back into play. Finds Holt.
Too easy.
Done it every time, Marty.
Yep, too easy. Picking them up.
Holt's kick in short to Ellis. Ellis now looks for Harding. He won't drop it.
Nice footballer. Well taken, Harding.
Well in front of Scott. So this is the 4th kick that's taken East Fremantle from defence into attack, and a mark to Kevin Taylor. Well, that is direct play and good play.
Good play by Taylor on that occasion. Just edged the fella out. His namesake. Did it beautifully, though.
So Taylor is now 30 metres out from goal. He's booted 2 already. Is this number 3? Yes, it is. And it's East Fremantle's 9th. 30 metres. That's Brian Taylor with the ball. Alexander clever. Kicks it in towards where Kerr sets. Might have almost been awarded the free kick there. Yes, he has. He's been paid a free kick, Roger Kerr.
What a good bit of work by Ron Alexander. I thought it was our last Stanley Matthews. Off the ground with a wild swipe with his boot. More luck than expertise, in my opinion, but it come off. When you're hot, you're hot.
Roger Kerr, 1 goal in the first quarter, now another in the second quarter. That's East Fremantle's 10th. Bit late to stop Renstead taking the mark. Renstead looks for Ellis, who's well down from his centre-half back position. He's taken a good mark.
Good slap mark overhead. Danger was lurking.
Resisted the urge to play on. Ellis now looks for Taylor, who's going to set from behind. Cassidy now. Danger coming up now for Subiaco as Cassidy has the ball. Hand pass to Kerr. Runs into an open goal and slams East Fremantle's 11th through. Away they go again, East Fremantle, and Rankin has it. Sends a long hand pass over towards Turco. Turco's dragged off the kick. Renstead goes back in after it. Only contributor for his side today to Rankin. Rankin, who's streamed down from his wing, kicks it up towards Alexander again. The big man's taken another strong grab. Alexander comes in from 15, 20 metres out. He's been a dead-eye dick today, and that's another one on the board for him. That's his personal 6th goal, and it's East Fremantle's 14th.
And I think we'll have to have a word with John Todd tomorrow to put this fellow full forward for West Australia. He'll probably laugh at us, but you could do worse.
Here's the kick from Brennan. Oh, well taken there by Ellis. Read it beautifully off hands. Hand pass on to Taylor. No one within 20 metres of him. There's a man in the goal square if he wants him. It's Jeff Cassidy. Over it goes to Cassidy. Cassidy blocks it through from 2 metres, and the Sharks are running hot.
Well, Kevin Taylor, I think that Cassidy will die of a heart attack after that one. All due respect to Kevin Taylor, hungry Kevin as he's known amongst his teammates. He popped that over. He could have easily plonked it straight through himself, but full marks to you, Kevin Taylor, for doing such a thing. You had 3 on the board. It could have been 4. Instead of that, Cassidy's got 1 on the board now.
Anyway, play in the centre of the ground now, and Kevin Taylor reads the ball well off hands, streams away from the opposition, chips it in short to Wake. Wake doesn't mark, but gets a hand pass to Cassidy. Cassidy back to Wake. Wake lines up from 35 metres, and another goal on the board to East Fremantle. That's their 17th.
Well, you can see how easy it was done. Beautifully done by
Marty, when you've got a 35-year-old bloke kicking goals, it doesn't say much for our full forwards, does it?
Oh, he's resurrected himself on monkey lands. I don't know what's happened.
Tell us
Ron,
the secret.
before you come into that, the quarter-by-quarter scores coming up now indicate that East Fremantle were the dominant side throughout. Subi didn't offer much. They were lacking badly a centre-half forward and full forward position, and East Fremantle run out pretty handsome winners.
Ron, impressive performance. They're firing as you'd expect.
I'm very happy with the way things are going. We've still got a couple of loose ends to tie up, but the players are prepared to run hard for the ball and support each other, and while we do that, we're a very good side.
Murray, Ron made a statement, then he's got a few loose ends to tie up. I couldn't see any loose spots in the side, really. I mean, you're well manned. I don't know what your thoughts are regarding the full forward position. Ron excelled yesterday, but the new lad who just worked interchange off the bench, Bennett, didn't utilise him much, but do you think there's a great future for him there?
Yes, he's an enormous talent, really, but he's very young. He hasn't played football for 18 months, and he's had an injury that really was quite a bad injury. And we've got to bring him along quietly. He has a recurrence of it if we give him too much work. And so we've got to use his potential in small doses for a while. But while we've got two 6'5", 6'6" people up there, it poses a problem for opposition sides.
It seems a harmonious situation between yourself and Ron. Do you make moves from the bench without notifying Ron when Ron's under pressure out in the field?
No, I think generally what we do is work out most of the things prior to the game. There isn't much that happens on Saturday that hasn't been worked out through the week, whether it be training or the way we're going to approach the game. And it really is only a bit of fine-tuning that goes on Saturday and keeping the players' minds on the job, really.
Murray, you've been in a position last year where you looked at East Fremantle from a coach's bench of a different club. What's the difference now between East Fremantle as they were in '83 and they are in '84?
Well, I think East Fremantle last year was a very talented group of players that really weren't playing well together, and it wasn't hard for a fairly well-organised side to upset them and break down their individual play. I think that what's happened this year, the players have responded to the tight things of football that were necessary, and they're now putting their efforts together as a group of people.
You know, we mentioned the talents of your running players, which is pretty obvious on camera, but I thought the defence, particularly a half-back line of Glenn Holt, Shane Ellis and Brennan, coupled with Browning and Foreman in the back line, were absolutely magnificent yesterday.
Yes, they were, but I think they're helped always by side. If we can put enough pressure on across the centre on the other side, their kicks don't come in that well. And we've got a very good and talented half-back and full-back line, and they work well together. The main point is if we can put enough pressure on South next week, they won't get into their forward line as easily. It makes it easy for the back line.
Well, Waterson's going all right, Ron, centre-half forward, wherever you want to play him, he's going well.
Colin's played exceptionally well. He's very skillful. He had a little spell in the back line and gained some confidence there. And he's come back into our forward line and doing an excellent job. But there's other people in the back line like Foreman and Christie who are also doing a job for us, and Holt's come back to a bit of form, so we're starting to look very strong in that area.
Well, what about the other highlights, Marty?
Yeah, we picked out two special features in the highlights, featuring the star on my left, the 9-goal boy, who Ron with a beautiful one-hander yesterday, and just have a look at this coming up on the screen now.
In the clear, finessing a bit now is caught. Luckily gets a hand pass away quickly to Turco. Turco's kick up there looking for Alexander. What a mark on Alexander, the mark of the day.
Well, it looked like a tennis ball. Didn't even juggle it in one hand. He seemed to have his fingers cupped right around it, brought it down as if it was an orange or a tennis ball. Thought he was about to throw it up in the air like, how's that?
Hey, that's first slip for Australia.
How big is the claw? Give us a look at it. It's magnificent. Oh, yeah, I can pay that one. And the next segment shows, once again, East Fremantle in full flight. Turco and the speedsters moving down the ground, and the big fella once again finishing off with a goal.
Into the last quarter, the ball has bounced. Up went Waterson too early. Keane, who's been a real hard worker for his side, particularly in the second half, gets it away. But it's East Fremantle who rebounds so well. That's Brennan. Many kicks today, this fella. Looks for Kerr. Kerr with pace. Well, it bounced off his chest after that effort. Boy, does he keep it in cleverly. Hand pass over towards Bennett. Bennett hand passes back towards Cassidy, very close to the boundary line. Cassidy, hand pass back to Christie.
And Big Ron's got his odds.
It was Turco who got it onto Alexander. Alexander was a metre out, and he's kicked his 9th.
As easy as that.
Beautiful ball control. Amazing, right over the top. Very confident in their movements here, Ron.
Players, Ron, playing with confidence, knowing what they can do and knowing what their teammates can do.
I think it stems from having...
it was a hard-earned goal, that one.
Knowing the ability that the players around you have, and you rely on those players, and when they come good for you, once and twice and 3 times, you know they're going to do it for you again.
Chatty, doesn't this make you sick when you've got to go to the races every week?
Yeah, it's shocking. It puts me off my calling sometimes. I've got the radio on one ear listening how they're going, especially if it's close, you know. But These things happen. As long as they keep going, I just had a month's holiday. I can't take any more holidays to go and see the footy, but I'll be there on Tuesday to see the state game, and I may try and get to the grand final. I hope so.
Righto, Marty.
Well, we've also got some more highlights here. We've got contenders for a Town and Country WA goal of the day and the Ian Dippin mark of the day.
And kick up towards the forward line. Browning was edged out. Mark was taken there by Christie. This time it's Keane who gets the tap. Taken well by Dwayne Lamb. Oh, good mark to Brennan. So there's Dean's kick. This could be a badly needed goal. It is. Great kick from Warren Dean. Reeves recovers well. Hand pass to Dwayne Lamb. Playing a good game for his side today, Dwayne Lamb. Kick up towards the forward line. A great grab by Foreman from behind. Oh, gee. Kerr and Harding got mixed up. Gives Floyd the chance. Kicks it towards Clinton Brown. And Brown takes the mark. Waterson gets the tap down towards Renstead. Almost runs into Kerr. Recovers well, though, Renstead. Class player, this fellow. Kicks it up towards centre-half forward. Taylor in the middle of the pack. What a mark. Well, Waterson has it. Drops it. Plays on.
Good kick.
Nonchalantly kicks it up towards where Alexander sets and juggles it and takes it. A good mark to Ron Alexander. So it's Reeves who gets the thump away, but it goes straight to Cassidy. He lines up from about 35 metres out on the left. Great goal to Cassidy. Luckily gets a hand pass away quickly to Turco. Turco's kick up there looking for Alexander. What a mark on Alexander, the mark of the day. Cassidy wheels inboard now. A lot of pace. No one coming to tackle him. Cassidy unloads from 50 metres out. This is going to be very close. Shepherded through by Alexander. Great goal, Cassidy. Holt charges through. Another top player in the East Fremantle back line today as his kick up towards the forward line. And from behind, Cassidy. Good mark.
Good judgment too. Wake calling for the ball.
So was Taylor. Wake and Taylor were both on the lead behind their opponents. Cassidy decided to unload from 55 metres out, and he has put it through for a goal. A great kick, Cassidy.
Well, it was all these Fremantles we showed there, but no apologies to Subi. I'm sorry we didn't give you any exposure at all, but didn't offer enough, and the forwards were weak, no doubt about that. Lamb, Keane and Sells contributed, but apart from that, Subi were left lamenting.
OK, Marty, thank you very much. And if you can't get 25,000 to a derby down here next week, then there's something the matter with football supporters in WA. Only sorry I won't be here to see it. Votes when we come back. Welcome back, and for all the East Fremantle fans around the metropolitan area, it's a big week this week for East Fremantle down at Garden City, so if you can get a chance to go down there and see what's going on, by all means do so. Righto, fellas, we're on the blocks to vote. John Rogers firstly, South Fremantle and Claremont.
Well, it'll have to be all South Fremantle players, wouldn't it? I gave one vote to Gillies, a superb effort from him. And I gave 2 votes to Stephen Mount. The reason I didn't give him top votes was because I felt that Nicky Winmar did his work when it mattered most early in the game, but all South for me.
OK, David Rowe, West Perth and Perth.
I gave 1 vote to George McKeljic of West Perth, 2 votes to Dean Warwick of West Perth, and top votes for an outstanding game in the centre to Robert Wiley.
Stan, Swans and East Perth.
I gave 1 vote to Murray Rance. I gave 2 votes to Greg Carpenter and 3 votes to Brett Hutton.
Marty, you're on the block. Subiaco, East Fremantle.
1 to Dwayne Lamb of Subi, 2 to Ron Alexander, and top votes to Shane Ellis.
And as a result of all that, let's have a look at the tally now in the Channel 7 Footballer of the Year award and see who's leading in the competition. Malaxis of Claremont 17, Wiley 15, Dorotich 12, Harding 10, Renstead 10, Keane on 9. They're the voting as it stands at the moment, and the car, of course, is the magnificent prize. That's the Nissan GL, Bluebird GL sedan, provided by the Nissan dealers of Western Australia, and that's the prize for the Channel 7 Footballer of the Year. Magnificent motor vehicle. Let's have a look at the goal-kicking award. And John Scott, the East Perth full forward, who got 5 yesterday, is on top with 57, Hutton on 52, Brown on 50, Holmes 45, Busasto 42, Alexander 41 and Cassidy 39. And $2,000, of course, goes to the Channel 7 leading goal kicker of the year. Goal of the day and mark of the day award time now. Good luck.
Yeah, I might say that some of these I didn't vote for, and you'll know which one it was that I didn't. Now, here is the winner of the Town and Country WA Goal of the Day.
Tremendous dash from Gavin Carter. Mount inside 50 metres, but a fairly tight angle. The kick looks pretty good. It is.
Kick it goes out towards the far flank.
OK.
All right. That was Stephen Mount, an excellent effort from him, a great goal, one of the 7 that he got. He was actually outside the boundary line by about 4 or 5 feet when he kicked that on his wrong foot, so he justifiably wins that $100. Now, the Ian Diffin mark of the day, and I will say I had nothing to do with this at all.
Making a mad run for it inside the boundaries, got it too. Woods full forward, Ware and Berry, Ware into the air, Peter Ware!
Oh, tremendous mark then by Peter Ware, flew high into the air. Great mark, about 20 metres out from goals. Here we are, we can see it on the replay. Ware right up, well over Ian Berry, and a great mark.
Does on so many occasions took an excellent mark. Please don't hate me, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, thank you.
The banner,
nothing to do with me, I didn't pick him either. Toddy did.
The banner competition, you'll remember that the WAFL were running. What they wanted you to do was to come up with a slogan for the banner for the state game between WA and Victoria on Tuesday. Well, it has been the 2 passes to get into the footy. This football, which will be signed by the West Australian state side, and 2 3-hour cassettes from NEC. Your tickets are in the mail from the WAFL, Mrs Faulkner, and you should have them, or certainly will have them, on Monday in time for you to go to the game on Tuesday. Mrs Faulkner's banner was an excellent one, and we're not going to tell you what it says, because the only way that you will know is for all of you to go to the game on Tuesday and see the wonderful entry that has won that fabulous competition. Pete?
Okay, Buck, thanks very much. We're running tight for time. Would like to introduce to you a face that's very familiar now, sadly only on replays, but back, of course, to play for WA, Ross Glendenning. Ross, welcome back.
Thanks, Peter.
As we get to talk about the state game now quickly, Ross, there is news this morning that Paul van der Haar has been dropped from the Victorian squad. Does that come as a surprise to you?
Well, John just confirmed that before with me, and he's had a groin injury, I think, Peter, for some time, which he finds it very difficult to come up 2 games in 3 or 4 days, so it doesn't surprise me. And I think he's also got a bit of a dicky knee, so no, not a surprise.
How do you rate the Victorian squad?
Well, full of versatile players, some informed players, but they've also got some guys playing there that, I mean, are just basic footballers, and you know, there's every chance, and I'm confident West Australia will win.
Toddy?
Well, I agree with those comments of Ross's. When you look at our side, I think it's loaded with talent. Some of the players that are available, and it's very versatile. Rioli, Baker, Blackwell, Malaxis, Hardy, Daniels, Richardson, Wiley, and the list goes on, Bazasto. Then you look at our defensive area with players like Peake, Glendenning, and there's many. It's just difficult at the present moment to finalise our squad, mainly because 2 players are playing in Sydney today, and Andrew Purser and Craig Holden, and we'll be keen to see where they get through injury-free.
How important is it to get off to a good start?
I think the first 20 minutes of the game are going to be crucial. I think the Victorians will certainly go after us, and I believe it's an area that we'll consolidate and then start to work to a pattern of play.
I just was going to ask Toddy, you're obviously going for a side that can outrun and outmark the Victorians. You're going to try and develop your balance around the ability of the West Australians to use the large size of Subiaco Oval.
Well, Buck, we can play 22 players, and naturally the side has to be versatile, and also the players have to cop, you know, coming on and off the field. Yeah. It's something that they've got to realise that the team is priority number 1, and we're all out there doing our bit for Western Australia. The end result, everybody will enjoy the glory. But I believe that we have the players that are capable of accepting that. They're mature enough, and they understand the game thoroughly.
Ross, how seriously are the Victorians taking this game?
Oh, very seriously, Peter. They've had 2 or 3 training runs before they've come over here, and they've chosen a number of players over the last 2 or 3 weeks and let them know that they have been considered for the game, so they had plenty of time to prepare themselves. And I think it's been the best preparation by the Victorians for a state game in the years that I've been there.
So there's no excuses if they get rolled?
Well, certainly not. No, they've got plenty of people to choose from, and they'll have their best side in.
Has Toddy told you where you're going to be playing?
No, he hasn't, and I probably wouldn't tell you anyway if he had.
Toddy, obviously the key is who's going to play full forward. Have you got any specific thoughts that you want to share with us?
Well, it's a guessing game at the present moment. I believe the Victorians are certainly trying to find out a little bit about us. So if we keep on telling lies and creating a lot of doubt in certain areas, I think it'll be to our advantage. And the Victorians have done that to us in the past, so perhaps the boot's on the other foot at the present moment.
You're enjoying every minute of this, aren't you? All the intrigue and being able to keep them all guessing?
Not really. I believe the game is very important from a Western Australian point of view. With the national competition just around the corner, Western Australia actually have to perform to be accepted in that competition. We're a long way away from all the other states, and unfortunately a lot of information doesn't filter back to the eastern states. And I think the guys from the eastern states enjoy playing for Western Australia.
OK, fellas, I'm sorry, but we are so tight for time, we've got to leave it there. Ross, lovely to have you back in WA. Good luck on Tuesday.
Thank you, Peter. Terrific weather too, by the way.
Oh, sensational, isn't it? Yeah, lovely. Yeah. I think you brought it with you. Toddy, good luck. The best wishes of everyone from WA on Tuesday.
Thanks, Peter.
And let's quickly, on that note, let's have a look at next week's fixtures as well. Just before, remembering, of course, the game is on Tuesday, and you'll see it on Big League on Channel 7 on Tuesday night. The other league fixtures to be played next Saturday as we work our way into the third and final round. Claremont and Swan districts, East Perth and West Perth, Perth and Subiaco, and East Fremantle and South Fremantle in the Derby. Let's hope they get an enormous crowd down here, and you probably won't be as cold if you can have some words for the producer next week.
Well, it was unbelievable yesterday, sitting up on top of the broadcast area at South Fremantle. It was the coldest I think I've ever been in my life. The wind just whistled straight through. But yes, I'll be warm. You, of course, are going to be winging your way to Los Angeles next week. I don't envy you with the smog and everything over there. I believe what he's going to get you a gas mask, which he reckons will probably improve your outlook and your looks without any shadow of a doubt.
Wouldn't be hard.
We're going to miss you for the next 6 weeks, but good luck. I hope it all goes well. But cold at Fremantle Oval, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know how you felt. OK, thank you very much. I would quickly just like to thank all the clubs and everyone for their hospitality and help. And Buck will be looking after you. Good luck with Brownie and Toddy and everyone else for the next few weeks, but at least when you go to Fremantle Oval, I'm sure they'll take good care of you there.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Good luck to all our state players on Tuesday. Let's hope you enjoy it, and I'm certainly, as I said, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the Olympic Games. It'll be a magnificent spectacle, and of course you'll see it on 7. Thank you for joining us, and we leave you with our tribute to yesterday's cold weather.
What call?
Now? Okay. Oh.
LA International Airport.
Well, the siren goes to start the third quarter, and I don't think I have ever been so cold in my life as what I am at the moment. It is absolutely freezing up here as O'Connell gets the tap.
Stewardess in a miniskirt, a hippie in a leather shirt, started on the way to Naples Road. While I'm wondering where it's at, I see a Paris diplomat. College kids are trying to get back home. Baggage cart goes quickly by, see my case and I start to cry. Stumble to the lounge to be...
Seven's World of Sport. Presented by WA Nissan dealers, Ian Diffin, the tyre expert. Gainers, your home appliance specialists. And King G.